Alrighty, buddy. Welcome to the LTA show. I'm your host, Felix Miago, and I got a very special guest from last year, Lacho or Horatio. How are you doing?
Pretty well yourself
I'm doing good. Last time we done this was like, I think summertime, somewhere around there.
around that time.
So it's been a couple months. What have you been up to? I know last time we talked, it was about working out. And, through Instagram, I keep seeing a daily post of you working out. And I think you've reached 1 year, right, of working out
Mhm.
consistently. So how's that been? And any like huge development or what's the goal for this year?
So as of recently, on January 28th of this year, I hit my 1 year mark, which working consistently, like you said. And honestly, that was like one of the best days ever because I had a great workout that day and I just felt so motivated. I was just so happy with myself because I consistently went to work out and I worked out what was it like 5 to 6 days every week for that entire year. Um, and it was just amazing, man. Your body just feels, it may be a little tired, but it's you're getting all these gains, man. It just feels so great. Um, Mentally, physically, I feel great. I feel so much happier with myself. Although sometimes I look at myself and I still feel a little skinny, but then I flex and then I'm like, damn, I love it.
Definitely seeing a lot of growth. Um,
I've definitely seen a lot of growth too. Um, yeah, dude.
and I know, I think you might have mentioned it, but you said you didn't do as much core last year. So have you been doing that lately as well, or just been focusing a lot on heavy weights and arms?
I've been trying to do core at least once a week. It's something that I feel like always gets neglected on, everyone who works out. Not everyone, but it's just a hard part to work out. But I've been trying to work out a little bit more this year. So far it's going good.
So that's what your goal is? You already got the arms, now you just got to get the six pack.
Well, eventually once I cut down, I do wanna I do want to constantly work on my abs because eventually when I cut down, they're going to be able to show. Right now, since I'm gaining weight, I'm bulking. It's still a little hard for them to show. I still see them. They're there. It's just it's not as toned out, right? Because you're bulking,
Mhm.
but it's great. It's a work in progress.
That's cool. Do you plan on attending any sort of weightlifting competition or just doing it for
No,
yourself?
this is just for me. This I'm not doing this for anyone else but me. So I don't really have planned on going to any competitions or anything like. I don't think I'm that good yet.
So once you get to that level, would you consider it, or is just still you can do your own thing?
I feel like at this point I will just do my own thing, but this is just me saying this now. So maybe once I'm jacked enough, maybe then I will try. But just for fun, I don't really have anything planned with it at the moment. Mhm.
Nice. And you've been doing a lot of leg workouts as well, like leg days.
Leg days is my favorite day. I hit legs twice a week, and I hit chest twice a week because those are my two main focuses right now. But leg days are one of my favorite days. Why? Because the more muscle you have on your legs, the more you're able to keep up the higher, or the more you're able to gain more weight at the upper body. It feels much more better and it looks better because then you're gonna be walking around looking like a chicken. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want. So I'm trying to get these gains, man. These leg gains, they go crazy.
They go crazy, huh?
Yeah.
You know, shoulder check people walking by.
Nah, I'm not that of an asshole yet.
Not yet?
Yeah,
Wait a
that's too
minute.
early yet.
Do you usually take like any what's it, pre-workouts?
Supplements. So at the moment, I'm currently taking creatine and I'm taking, yeah, just creatine and I take pre-workout every now and then. I don't always take it, but I do take it sometimes. It's BPN, right? So that's the name of the pre-workout I take. I also take Lit AF. and it's a Jolly Rancher flavored one, which I just recently got like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. The BPN one that I have, that one's a sour watermelon one. That one's pretty fucking good too. Oh, I'm sorry, it's pretty good too.
No, you can cuss, man. It's all good.
Yeah, and it's really good, really good. The BPN one, that one will get you working. Like it's got 300 milligrams of caffeine in it, so it's got a lot of it. But I mean, as long as you're working out, you'll work it off, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so like is creatine like what is it for somebody that like has never heard of it before?
So creatine helps you retain more water mass in your muscle, so it makes you feel more bigger. It helps you get a better pump, and it just, as long as you're constant, because if you take creatine, you have to constantly take a lot, drink a lot of water, because if not, it will mess up your kidneys, and that's the last thing you want. So it just helps you gain water weight, and it helps you feel a lot more, you know, what do you call it? A little more energetic. It's just a little boost for your body. Hmm.
So you take it before you work out and then you'll feel the effect.
Not necessarily. You can take it at whatever time of the day.
Mhm.
And it'll just, it's something you take once a day. Um, I bought these ones from these like creatine pills, creatine monohydrate, and you take two pills before your meals. So I got these are new ones that I got. So you take you could take one in the morning, and then right before your breakfast, and then you could take one in the night, or you could take it together. It doesn't matter, right? As long as you
Mhm.
get two of those pills a day, you should be fine.
Okay. And then the pre-workout, you would take it like couple minutes before your workout, or is it like
The
right before you're about
pre-workout,
to?
it works best if you take it like 30 minutes beforehand.
Mhm.
I feel like for me, I like to take it like 15 minutes beforehand, and it works fine too. But the recommended time is like 30 minutes before. That way, it gives your body enough time to get all that energy. Yeah, and it
So,
just, it helps you get a shit ton of energy. It helps you get that extra last rep in that you want to, get up. It's definitely a game changer. I used to say, I'm not going to take this pre-workout. Why would I need to do that? I got that natural energy, right? But it's not true. It's just the moment you start taking it, you're going to notice a dramatic change in how much you can lift. Why? Because it helps you get all this extra energy that you can later focus on, on those extra reps that you couldn't lift before because you ran out of energy. Yeah. So it definitely helps.
is it so it's only for people that work out, or is it have people use it for like, running or like some other sport?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know the answer to that. I know me personally, I don't think I would take creatine, or I wouldn't take pre-workout if I was gonna go on a run. I don't know if that. I feel like that's a lot of caffeine. I mean, maybe they take like a pre-workout that has less caffeine, maybe like 100 milligrams, or maybe 200. Because I feel like 300 milligrams of caffeine just to go running is maybe a little excessive. Um, I'm sure they could do it. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah.
Thanks. So you said you feel the effect like instantly, right? Like after that 30 minute?
Honestly, bro, sometimes I'll feel it like within like 5 minutes, um, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. I feel like it just depends on the day, because sometimes you can already have a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and then you'll feel it like, maybe a few minutes later. And then if let's say there was a day when you got off work, right, and you were super tired. If you were to drink the pre-workout, you'd probably feel it like instantly. Why? Because there's a rush of energy just going down your system, right? And so you feel it and you're like, ooh, like you could already feel it in you. And yeah, I guess it really just depends on the day.
Do you ever get the crash? Like, is it like when people drink coffee later on, they feel like a crashing effect? Does that happen with pre-workout?
Um, I feel like it does and it doesn't. When I say it does, it could be just, you being just overtired because, you just pushed your body to its limit, right?
Hmm.
And it could just be you're tired, but there are days where I won't push my body as hard and I took pre-workout and then I'd be like drowsy. I'd be like falling asleep. So I guess it does give you that effect. Hmm.
Cool. And what's like the heaviest you can lift so far? Is it like a big difference compared to last year, or is it slowly?
Yes. So last year, let's say my squat, um, so I hit my squat PR back in December. I haven't tried to go for another PR yet. So my squat PR is 205 three times, right? Um, it's really fucking heavy. At least for me, it is. That's a lot. That's like I weigh. Okay, keep in mind I weigh 137 right now, right? I fluctuate between 135, 137. Now, picking something up that's 205 and pushing it down and up, squatting it, two, three, that's a lot of weight, right? At least for me. And so, I mean, I'm very happy with my progress. My PR for chest right now is 155. I believe it's I think it's like 4 reps. So that's like 4 times pushing it up, bringing it down, pushing it up. It's heavy, man. It's heavy. I'm a small person, but I'm slowly doing it. Last year I couldn't even lift. When I first started, I couldn't really even lift 25s on each side. That shit was so heavy, right? So I started off with just zero weight on the bars, and it was just the bar weight, which was 45 pounds. And even that was just it was heavy. And something I've learned throughout this whole process is your body form, your form. It's very, very important because if you're lifting weights and you're not doing, if you don't have the proper form, you will mess up your body. And that is the last thing you want because if you rip a muscle or you just hurt your body, you're going to be out for who knows how long. And what happens when you're out for how long? You tend to lose muscle. It doesn't feel good. And it's something I don't want to do. So the most important thing I'd say is focus on your form before lifting heavy. No ego lifting. That's what I'd like to say.
Thing. Do you get one of those like weightlifting belts?
Yes, I actually I'd say about 5 months ago, I didn't realize how much helpful it was until one of my gym friends, he showed me his and he let me borrow it, right? And I was like, holy shit, this makes a difference because it helps you lift the maximum weight you can lift. And it helps your form and it prevents you from getting hurt. So I had to get one and I bought one. And ever since then, I've been using it and it's helped me get so many PRs. And I'm very, very happy I got it. Hmm.
Nice, nice. Do you like have any weights at home as well? So like, let's say you don't want to go to the drive to a gym. Do you just like work out at home, or you just do home
It's
workouts?
funny you say this because I first started off working out at home before I went to the gym. Many, many years ago, I went to the gym too, but it was never consistent, right? It was just here and there, here and there. Um, but here at home, I actually only have 20-pound dumbbells. That's what I first started off with, right? And I got so used to it that when I went to the gym, there was all these different ones, and I was like, "What the heck?" There's just so many variety, different weights, right? And
Hmm.
at home, I only had just the pair, just the 20-pound pair ones, and yeah, that's to answer your question. I only have one pair. That's it.
Do you still use it occasionally?
You know, I don't use it anymore because I don't work out at home anymore, but maybe one day, maybe I should probably get some more. Maybe I'll one day want to have my own gym at home, right?
Oh, you're on
Yeah.
Garage Gym.
Yeah, I feel like, I'd probably want like an outside gym. Um, I feel like that'd be just much more better. Blast your own music. don't care what people think of you. You know, you work out at home and just be comfortable with yourself. You know, I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people. That's why a lot of people don't like to go to the gym, right? Because they feel very uncomfortable when everyone's just watching them. And the reality of working out at the gym is you may think people are like watching you, but in reality, I guess it's at least when it comes to me, I'll like space out and I'm like, it may look like I'm looking at you, but I'm totally just spaced out. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm in my head waiting for my next set or my next, workout. And maybe there is some people that do like to stare, which I feel like it's very annoying. I feel like you should just leave people alone and let them do their own thing, right? But for the most part, you know, I'm usually just spacing out when I'm looking around. I'm just like, damn, look at this wall. Like, I don't know, man.
You know what it is? It's a pre-workout. It's slowly kicking in. You're like
You know
your
what? I
days.
think it might be. I think it might be. And I feel like that's pretty cool too, because it definitely helps. So it's something I don't want to give up.
Lacho's like spaced out. It's like, hey bro, can I borrow that weight, bro?
Yeah,
Still
spaced
spaced out.
out. Spaced out. Hey, bro. Do you mind passing me away? I'm like looking at the fucking wall and shit. Yeah, I'd look like a crackhead at the gym, dude.
It's like, yeah, you're just like drunk or something, just looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, with weightlifting, I'm sure you've got school, right, to balance and work. How's school been for you, managing
Um,
everything?
School's pretty good. I'm still taking 5 classes. They're all criminal justice classes. Um, but so far it's been pretty good. It's not too bad. And for going, work wise, I swapped to all mornings. So now I work from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's hard waking up at that early. Sometimes I'd be coming in at 4:30 in the morning, and it's hard. It's really hard, but it is what it is. And I chose that schedule, and I love it, so I can't complain. Because I get to get off work at 1 and leave, and I have like, the rest of the day. I take a little nap, and then I go work out. Sometimes I'll even go work out before I take a nap. I go work out right after work. And that's the hardest part, but that's where pre-workout comes in. You take that shit and then you feel so energetic. And then once you get home, you pass the fuck out.
That's the
Yeah.
routine.
I have a routine set up, man. Tuesday, Thursdays, I don't work, right? Because I have school. Um, I get all my homework done on those days, and then the rest of the days I just work and work out. Hmm.
Wow, that's cool. And then so you're still going to CSM, right?
No, I graduated from CSM with my associate's degree in criminal justice, and I actually
Congrats.
transferred over to Cal State East Bay. So I'm getting my bachelor's in criminal justice there. This is currently
Wow.
my second semester.
And you going in person or online?
It was supposed to be in person, but everything got swapped online. And honestly, I couldn't be any happier because it's just so easy, go online, do your homework. That's it.
Yeah, manage your own schedule with it.
Mhm. I would have liked for it to be in person. I'd like to say I learned much more in person. Um, but even so, on the computer, online, I still like to watch all the videos they send us and do all the work. It's very interesting work. I love it.
What
Mhm.
what are you gonna go into uh with that degree?
The main goal was to be a police officer one day, which I hope someday does happen. And but honestly, I'd love to work anything in that area. Any government related job I feel like is the way to go. At least I think it is.
Dang, Lacho's gonna pull over people.
One day,
Officer
hopefully one day, hopefully.
Officer Lacho.
I did originally want to do military before I did all this police work stuff. So maybe one day if I do have the opportunity to join the military, I would. I really would.
Dang, Lacho's gonna be a police officer and then a soldier. Oh snap. You better watch out.
Hopefully one day. At least that's the way to go, But anything in that area, I'm very happy to be working in.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
really cool. I mean, just doing what you love. Speaking of that, have you done like any interests that you found or any hobbies? I know like we talked a little bit before the podcast. You got little artworks in the background.
And
I
yeah,
did.
my little artworks right there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I haven't really done any new ones recently, but these I did these all when I was I'd say early early 2020, early 2020. I just had nothing to do, and I decided to pick up a hobby because COVID hit and there was nothing to do. So all of a sudden, I just started painting. My sister bought me supplies. I bought myself supplies, and one of my favorite ones is this one right here. It took me the longest, and it was just I just loved it so much. Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed. I thought it was like I honestly thought you bought it from somewhere. I didn't know you painted all of them.
Oh, I painted every single one except for the bird. That one a friend of mine drew for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you have like this skill for art, or was it like you kind of learned it during the pandemic?
Sorry, my cat just ate shit.
You
Um,
good?
no, I honestly I took drawing back in ninth grade.
Mhm.
I failed the class. I love the class. I love the teacher. The teacher loved me, but I got a D in the class because why? Because I was a terrible drawer. I never took any draw or any painting classes. I probably wish I should have. I probably would have been a lot better. Um, I probably would have passed it too. But no, this is just something I picked up randomly. This is nothing that has nothing to do with like a previous hobby that I had. Nothing. I just randomly picked it up and all of a sudden I enjoyed doing it, so I kept doing it. And then I haven't really drawn anything else in a while or painted anything else in a while. Um, Maybe I should start to get back on that.
I mean, hey, you could make some money off it. There's some really good ones, like the two on your left from my screen, like the elephant and the tree. I mean, the color scheme looks amazing for both of them.
I have a few more that are not hung up yet because I was too lazy to hang up. But yeah, dude, I think it's just a lot of patience. It takes a while, but it's really cool how you're able to mix all these colors and it just looks very beautiful.
I mean, it looks amazing. Like the elephant, like it looks perfect. Like it looks like it honestly looks like a digital art or something.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, I
Cause
don't know. I really, I saw this picture. I saw a similar picture online and I was like, this inspired me to do something very similar, right? So it's not an exact copy of it, but it's very, very similar. And it's just, I tried it. I went for it. It took me a couple hours, and there it is.
that's awesome. I mean, looks amazing. I can't wait to see if you do go back into it, what kind of artworks you're gonna make.
And that's a great question. That's something I'd have to look into because I don't even know what else I would do. I don't know what kind.
I mean, there's a lot of things out there. I mean, there's so much inspiration. Like we may think like we don't have any ideas, but we just need something to like inspire
Inspire
us.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Exactly.
there's so many designs and like, it's your own style too. So you can mimic something and then just make it your own. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we do for essays. You kind of like follow the same format, but you just, do your own writing. Nothing wrong
Exactly.
with that. It's not plagiarizing.
hmm I agree.
I mean, especially since you're a criminal justice major.
We do have a lot of writing assignments to do, but for the most part, it's just, you know, we usually have been just talking about, a lot of murders. It's just, laws that are broken inside the system that we have to talk about, stuff like that, corruption. Yeah, but it's very interesting. I love it. I love it a
Wow.
lot.
Do you also like watch those like documentaries and like crime shows and all that stuff? Or
Not so much as crime shows, but it's more just documentaries. And it's we've been watching a lot of documentaries about serial killers lately for one of my class.
Mhm.
And we just focus on how they were caught, the little steps that they missed. Like let's say in one of these what is it? Documentaries called The Dumpster Killer. So it was about this young kid. What was it? It was this young kid who lost 20 years of his life, I believe. And because apparently he raped a girl and threw her body in a dumpster. And he lost 20 years of his life because of a fingerprint that was on the bag that they thought was his. No, it wasn't a fingerprint. Was it a? I think it was a bite mark. Was it a bite? I'd have to look into this again. I forgot. It was a while ago that I watched this. But anyways, it's so many documentaries. It's a little overwhelming because you see, it's real footage that they show of the people that are dead, right? And I don't know. I feel like it's people have to have a strong stomach for this because you see all these pictures with, dead bodies, the way they were murdered. It's just hard. It's hard.
Mhm.
But I find it very interesting. So, which is why I love this subject.
Yeah, just wanting to solve crimes, you know? Nothing wrong with that. That's cool, honestly. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. I was gonna ask like if the crime shows are like kind of like similar, but once you get to that level, I'll ask you again a follow up. Is the crime shows
Yeah,
very
we
true?
could save that for another one if you want. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate, I'd say. Sometimes the stuff they do is not, but for the most part, it's pretty similar. hmm
Solving like any sort of clue, trying to get a lead on it.
hmm
Yeah,
Looking for, one thing I recently learned in my class that I found very, very interesting was cops are actually able to identify a person through ear prints.
ear prints.
Yeah. So there was a case where they talked about how a suspect leaned against the window to try to listen to see if there was anyone inside the building or whatever. And they leaned against the window, and so their entire ear, they pressed their ear against the window, and it left a mark. And the police, being the police, they said, "Hey, let's try to scan this for anything, right?" And they did, and they ended up matching it to a suspect that was, eventually that was the person who broke into the house, and they caught the person because his ears matched the ear print that was on the window. Yeah, because all the oils released from your ear made an impression on the window, and they used that impression to match it to the victor, to the suspect, and bam, dude got arrested, all because of his fucking ear. No one ever thinks, hey, let me lean against this door or this window, and no one's gonna think, hey, my ear is not gonna get me caught, right?
Yeah, they always think the
Usually just
fingerprint.
fingerprints or DNA like spit, saliva, semen, blood. But no, his fucking ears, man. He got caught by his ears. hmm
Wow. Wait, so
Yeah.
how does that work? Like, how do they know like that they do like ear scans for people before you even like,
No, here's the thing. There was a suspect already in they had a suspect already, but they couldn't find any evidence linking him to the crime, right? They couldn't find
yeah.
any fingerprints, any DNA, right? And so the moment they found the ear print, they were like, holy shit, this looks, exactly like a ear. So they took the sample of it, right? They took the ear print and they were like, let's match it to the suspect's ear. And the suspect was like, what? And so, the cops being the cops, they did it and they matched him. They were like, you're going to jail. Why? Because we caught your ear in the area where the windows were broken. And yeah, I mean, dude, the police are constantly coming up with ways that, are getting people caught. Hmm.
Wow. So, just if I lean against the door, they got my fingerprint regardless, the
Yeah,
cheek,
I
the
mean,
nose.
no one's gonna think anything much of it when you lean against a door, a window, or, something solid, right? And your ear's gonna be there. But so many different ways of getting caught.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much like technology now compared to what it was before. They can
Hmm.
trace it easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They could easily trace it.
Yeah, like they can trace your phone, you know. It's definitely gotten a lot better.
Uh, a lot more laws definitely need to be implemented in order to trace someone. But yeah, it's very, very easy to get traced down.
Wow, I'm learning a lot from a criminal justice major.
I mean, there's so much, dude. There's so much to talk about when it comes to criminal justice. I just love every aspect of it. Hmm.
It's very interesting. I mean, you get to learn about the history about it, like what cases that happen in real life, and then like, you can look back at it and kind of just remember like what are the steps that they took.
Oh, I
Now,
remember. Um, so remember how I told you about the guy going to jail? So let me start this all over. There was a young guy who got sentenced. I think it was 23 years in jail because apparently they found um, his. So he apparently he bit the victim, and the victim died. Right, the victim was dead. So they found bite marks on the victim, and they thought the bite marks matched the suspect, the young kid, and the kid lost 23 years in prison, or 23 years of his life, went to prison. And then later on, eventually they found out that the bite marks actually did not match the suspect, and the suspect just, he was innocent. And he was so mad because he lost 23 years, right? And it's just, it goes to show that whenever there's a bite mark on a victim, it's not, it's solid, it's like evidence, but it's not, what do you call it, it's not the best evidence because every person has very different skin types, right? So someone can have sensitive skin, someone could have very thick, non-sensitive skin. And so the bite marks left on the victim, although it may looked like the suspect's teeth, it didn't even add up. It didn't match the suspect, and that's why it's very important to know that not everyone is gonna have the same skin type. I don't know, something like. Anyways, it's very complicated. It sounds complicated, but it's very, very interesting. It's an interesting topic. I love it. Yeah. So bite marks are not acceptable in court just by themselves as evidence. They have to have more evidence in order to get booked into prison. Yeah, some shit
yeah,
like that.
wow, got to be
Mhm.
careful then.
Yeah, you do, man. This subject it's complicated, but once you start getting it, once you start listening to it and paying attention, it's very, very cool.
Game of Blues Clues, solving every sort of mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. There's not much. Just trying to work on getting these gains and going to school and getting my work done.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. I mean, learned a lot. Thank you so much for, doing this podcast with me. Keeping it yearly.
Absolutely. I feel like we should have another podcast for my criminal justice. I feel like that'd be a pretty interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah. I gave
Hmm.
you a case. You try to tell me what steps you would take. See if it would match.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, it's been pretty good. Thanks for having me on your LTA show again.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe next time I will be a little bit more prepared when it comes to my, answers, but good, 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 good.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say before we close it out?
Nope. All I'm gonna say is hopefully you have a good day and good luck with your classes later today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
till next time.
Yeah. And next time we do this podcast episode, Lacho is going to be jacked, all around. And he's going to be a police officer or,
Oh
going to go
shit.
to the army. Well, we'll see what Lacho's got. What
Hopefully it
update.
doesn't take as long as because Will took forever and then he didn't even end up showing up. So
We'll do an individual with him, and then I'll finally have both of you guys on here.
yeah. All right.
Alrighty, thank you so much for listening to today's LTA show. I'm your host, Felix, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day.